beautiful day at the beach. You know, I was looking at the video I made yesterday, and it seems like the whole thing is tilted, like to one side or the other, left or the right. I don't know if it's the way my camera is mounted, or the way I have my head, or what, my helmet maybe. Anyways, not too worried about it. It's always fun when people come out and watch. Everybody's always interested. I don't think I've ever had a situation where somebody was angry. Helicopter traffic up ahead, yeah. They do helicopter tours here at the beach. Yeah, you want to get away from that downwash. Yeah, I don't know. The idea of being under the prop wash of a helicopter sounds terrible. I mean, I imagine it lasts for a while, so I'm going to actually give it some space over there. These kites are like the invisible killer here. I was flying at the beach, I don't know, it must have been 3 or 4 months ago. And I was being complacent, and I wasn't really paying attention to my surroundings, and I didn't notice there was a kite kind of up ahead. And the kite lines basically disappear. I mean, I can't see the kite line right now with these two kites. And I ran right into it. It ran into my A's. I got lucky. And I guess it was a cheap kite or something, but I ended up snapping its line. I landed and did kind of like a wing or a line inspection, and it had just cut through the sheath of my A's. I mean, I got really lucky. I don't know. Anyways, moral of the story is if you're flying at the beach, definitely be hyper aware of kite strings. What a beautiful day it is today. Man, we are really moving quick. This is quite a tailwind. Hello. Get my glasses on. You know, the reason I don't take off with my glasses on is one time I was taking off doing a reverse here at the beach, and I don't know, somehow my risers smacked me right in the glasses, ripped them off my face, and broke them in half. So I just generally tend not to take off with glasses on. Okay, so I think this is the last flight of the day. It's like, I don't know, 3:30 or something, and I don't know, it gets dark at like 5 o'clock, so we should talk about training. I've seen a lot of questions on Reddit over the last few months. The sport is becoming really popular, and a lot of people I see asking questions about how to get training, or do they need training, where to buy the motors. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Not necessarily misinformation, but there's just a lot of noise. I noticed when I first got into the sport about 2 years ago, almost 2 years now. It's just so confusing. Everything that's out there, you know, everybody says their stuff is the best, and everybody has their opinion, and you know, you don't know what motor to buy, and what wing to buy, and how big, and should you get training, should you not get training. So I guess I'm going to give my opinion on the whole thing, and you know, take it with a grain of salt, I guess, but okay, so you want to get into paramotoring. How do you do it? So first and foremost, the best thing to do is find an instructor or a school that's near you in your area. You can even find like a group of guys that flies, but I mean, you definitely want to find an instructor. So an instructor will do a lot of things, but first and foremost, they'll somewhat be your navigator through through all the confusion that exists out there. More than likely, your instructor is gonna have some kind of recommendations that he offers you for wings or motors, and it's not necessarily that his recommendation or her recommendation is going to be better or worse than somebody else's or another instructor's, but it's more likely than not what they're used to dealing with, what they're used to flying with. Some of them may, be importers or resellers or what have you and get a kickback, but, I think it's fine. Don't take their word on it. If somebody says, oh, I recommend a, whatever, name XYZ wing or XYZ motor, don't take their word for it and just hand over your money. Take it into consideration, get online, do some research, kind of get a feel for what other pilots' opinions about that product are. There's, I don't know, everybody has an opinion about everything, and hello. And sometimes it's just hard to weed through it all, but a good place to start is generally what your instructor will recommend. So people ask the question, well, how long does it take to get flying? How much does it cost? So generally from what I see, it's between $1,500 and I don't know, $3,000, $3,500 to do a full training course, and that doesn't include like renting a motor or renting a wing. You can't really do that. I think there may be a couple of schools that allow you to rent gear, but you're most likely going to have to buy your gear before you start the training. A good way to start is just buying a wing, getting a nice beginner wing that is safe. Get something that's certified and rated. ENA is a good beginner rated wing. Something that's safe. It's going to be stable and avoid collapsing. And just practice kiting. Your instructor is going to have you come out wherever you fly, and you're probably going to be kiting 4 or 5 or 6 or however many sessions you're out there, and that's good. The better you are at ground handling, and the better you are at controlling the kite and understanding how the wing reacts to different scenarios of wind, the better pilot you're going to be. Because the last thing you want to do is be in the air and have some kind of wind condition that occurs, or you're trying to land and the wind is shifting and you don't know what to do. So the best advice I can give you is get really, really comfortable just kiting your wing. And your instructor is gonna tell you that. If your instructor is rushing you and trying to get you to fly and you just don't feel comfortable, you don't feel ready, then don't do it. Tell them that you don't feel comfortable, you wanna kite for a little bit longer and get more comfortable under the wing. Okay, so you've gotten comfortable with your wing, you feel good, you're starting to think about getting ready to fly a motor. Now at this point, I'm assuming that you haven't purchased a motor yet. Most likely you're going to get a motor with your wing, but you may not. But once you start looking into buying a motor, a lot of people just go for what's sexiest right now or what has the most power, and that's not necessarily the right thing for every pilot. There's a really great video by I can't remember his name now. The guy that runs Scout Paramotors, where he discusses how to choose a proper engine size based on weight and based on what type of flying you're going to be doing. And I think it's really the best video that's out there as far as giving you the best advice as far as how to pick the right size motor and what kind of engine you want to buy. Some people buy used motors. I think that's fine. I would just say definitely know as much as you can about the motor before buying it. These little things, these little motors, if you don't, if you don't take care of them and do regular maintenance, you can have a lot of issues with them. Oh wow, jellyfish. Holy moly, there's a ton of them. See all the little white spots here in the water? I think that's jellyfish. So, what you want to find as a beginner pilot is a motor that is not underpowered, but not overpowered either. I guess it's just about finding the sweet spot. And definitely something to think about is reliability and parts availability. I mean, I fly the mini plane top 80 with the Soup Air harness, and it is I think one of the lowest powered motors. I weigh roughly 165 pounds, and I don't ever really feel the need for more power. I mean, sometimes if I'm trying to climb, I definitely wouldn't mind some more power, but the beauty of this motor is that it sips fuel. I can fly for 2.5, 3 hours, no problem. And parts are readily available and extremely cheap. And the motor has been flying, for years and years and years. So, it has a pretty good reliability record. So that's really what my decision was based on. That may not be something that's important to you. You may just want more power, but again, as a beginner student, you want something that's easy to fix if you do happen to, fall on landing or crash on landing or break a prop or whatever. You want it to be relatively inexpensive to fix. Okay, you bought your motor and you are comfortable under your wing, and so now you're going to go out there with your instructor and you're going to do your first flight. Generally what's going to happen is they're going to, you're going to have a helmet. Your helmet will most likely have some sort of, radio built in. I'm using the Cena SMH-10R. A lot of people use a lot of different things, but basically you're going to be talking to your instructor your first few flights the entire time. He's going to walk you through, he or she's going to walk you through, your takeoff, your flight, your landing, and, you should feel comfortable. I mean, the first flight is always a bit nerve-wracking because you have no frame of reference to compare it to. And on your first solo, you want to do your best to really listen to what your instructor is telling you. He may tell you to throttle up or add brakes or relax. The most important thing you can do is just listen to your instructor, because it's often easy to get sort of tunnel vision early on when you're training, because everything is so new and so exciting and a little bit scary and a little bit, whatever. But you'll have your instructor in your ear, and as long as you listen to them, you'll be safe. What I can't stress enough is that by getting an instructor, you're paying somebody, to be your guide effectively. And, ask as many questions as you can. The time that you spend with your instructor is so valuable because you're learning from their experience, right? You want to do everything you can to be the best pilot you can be. If you make a mistake and your instructor gives you feedback, take it to heart and try to get better at it. What you can do is ask somebody to record you when you're doing takeoffs and landings, to get kind of like a third-person view on what you may be doing wrong, or maybe you're pulling brakes a little bit too early, or you're not pulling enough left brake or right brake, or it's just nice to have that footage to review early on to really figure out sort of what you're doing wrong if you're having a lot of issues in takeoff or landing. So that's pretty much it. I mean, the key in this as a beginner is to get as much advice as you can before making decisions. Do a lot of research. Don't buy anything on impulse or what anybody else, any one person says. Take advice from people, but all the advice you get, sort of take it with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of voices in the sport, and everybody says, that they're the correct voice. And that's the hardest part in all of this. Most pilots find a motor they love, they find a wing that they love, and they'll fly on it for years. I mean, I've been on the top 80 and the Mac Para Charger for, like I said, going almost on 2 years now, and I love it. And it's the wing and motor that I learned on. It's all about what you want to get out of the sport, really. If you're into low and slow, or you want to learn to do acro, or maybe a little bit of both, you find the right combination for the type of flying that you want to do. Really, the best thing you can do for yourself as a new pilot is to get proper training. Look into all the books that are out there. There's the Powered Paragliding Bible. I highly recommend it. You can pick it up on Amazon. Just learn as much as you can and be a safe pilot. There's really nothing else in aviation that's quite like powered paragliding. It's a really one-of-a-kind sport.